All right, guys. Hello, everyone. This is Bernard.Faithful. And this particular live is different. It's not about just business, it's about the path. I call it the path because I want to know from individuals the path that you took to get to where you're at right now. We all have trials, tribulations. We've all been through so many things, so much stuff. But for some reason, for some way, you made it to where you at right now. And in your eyes, it may not be what you're looking for. It may not be successful. It may not be,
Yeah, there's a message on there.
it's not connecting. It keep on doing that, but whatever. So the live is the Wi-Fi. But it's the path, and I have a great guest here today that has accomplished a lot of things in life in a short period of time and done many things that some of us dream about and some of us even watch the television show. So I have here today special guest, Mr. Josh Rosahd.
Yes, sir.
So we got the round of applause and everything. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing well, bro. I'm doing well. Blessed to be here.
Absolutely. So I told them we bringing R&B back. So my whole hookup is like old school R&B, new school R&B.
That's what you said a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
I'm old school, but you got to keep it fresh.
So Josh, you we were just talking about you going by different names.
Okay.
I know you as the businessman of real estate as Josh Leapart.
Mm-hmm.
You have other several different names. Can you explain that?
I feel like sometimes when you're going through life and you're taking and approaching different journeys, you just have to kind of go with the flow a little bit. A lot of people know me as Josh Rosahd. They've been knowing me as Josh Rosahd for the longest. But I feel like when I started to move a lot more business savvy, doing more things like real estate, doing more things in the real world, it kind of required for me to put on that professional look. It's still a part of my name. I'm Josh Rosahd Leapart, so it still all go together. But as far as like music and everything in the industry, it's always been Josh Rosahd.
Let's talk about business. Like I said, I know you from real estate. Let's talk about real estate, and then let's talk about business. Before you even jumped into real estate, you had some successful stuff going on too.
I did. So prior to real estate, I was working in property management.
Okay.
I've always done stuff.
What location?
It was in Atlanta, Georgia.
Atlanta, Georgia.
Yep, Atlanta, Georgia. I lived there for like 9 years. So I hopped into property management. It was a great stepping stone for me. Because it allowed for me working in luxury property management. It allowed for me to meet so many different people, reach so many different people who, they believe in you and you let them hear your stuff and, you show them what you got and they kind of jump on board with you and support you. So
absolutely.
Yeah. And then I ended up getting into real estate because it was kind of in the same realm, but I needed something that would allow me more freedom over my time.
Okay.
So that I can put more energy into the things that I love to do.
Absolutely.
There's a difference between working to live and living to work. And I just decided that I wanted to take that approach so that the things that I do on my day to day is things that I love to do that just so happen to be lucrative at the same time.
People always want to ask us as real estate agents, how is the market? And they expect us to really know exactly from the penny down to whatever. They want to know exactly if we know what we're talking about and also what's going on. So I guess I hate the question, but I got to ask you, as a real estate agent, how is the market?
The market is just the market, man. You got interest rates rising. But like I always tell my clients, is like if you're prepared, if you're ready, willing, and able to buy, there's never a time not to buy. Even though we're over 7% interest rates, there were times where people were paying nearly a 20% interest rate.
Mm-hmm.
So just depending on the mindset of the people that you talk to, you get a lot of different kind of responses.
Okay.
But also at the same time, it's like, like we tell people, you marry the house, you date the rate. Because you might be able to
absolutely
refinance later and, you in good hands. But if you can afford a house, if you can afford to purchase, and if you find the home of your dreams, like why not?
You spoke about doing things that you love, and this is really about this podcast right now is about the path that you took to get to where you at now doing the things that you love.
Right.
What is that thing that you love?
Man, to be honest with you, man, I've kind of broken this thing down for myself. Even over the past 2 years for me, it's been very like aligning and enlightening. And I feel like the things that I love the most, I love to be of a service to people.
Okay.
So real estate is definitely a career path that I've always wanted to jump into.
Yeah.
Music that's like my baby, bro. Like even when I took time away from music, like not promoting music or putting music out there, I'm still in the studio.
Gotcha.
I'm still writing. I'm still doing stuff for other people. You know what I'm saying? So music is something that I've always loved to do. I just feel like this year and this time that we're in right now, it's like, don't sleep on yourself.
Okay.
Don't sleep on yourself. I'll hold music for years. Like my last EP I put out, it was music that I recorded over 10 years ago. But I released it last year.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So it's crazy, the industry, when people do drop albums or singles or things like that, it could be from 5 years ago.
Absolutely.
So you make music, you try to make music that's relevant, meaning like you can drop it 5 years later and you're still talking about the same thing or the same thing is still going on. You dropped the album, it's called Self-Titled, right?
Self-Titled, yep.
It dropped though in 2021.
2021.
Tell me, when did you like complete it and you had it and you was just waiting?
To be honest with you, like Self-Titled is a compilation album. It's things that I have recorded through time. All of those songs, like I mentioned a few seconds ago, were at least 10 years old.
Okay.
But I decided to drop it in 2021. It just felt like it was the time to drop it. A lot of those songs, they do sound a little bit dated, but when you are talking about real things and you have like...
Go ahead.
Oh, no, you good. Oh. And when you have like real things going on, like when you're talking about real topics and there's real emotion and stuff attached to the music, I feel like that music is going to last forever.
Okay.
It's not like you dropping something because it's a fad or something that's going on right now. It's a sound that everybody like. One thing about me, I feel like my music has always been a representation of where I am, things that I've seen, things that I've been through myself, you know what I'm saying? And real feelings. So real feelings don't die, bro.
Absolutely. So let's talk about that self-titled album in 2021.
Yeah.
I checked it out.
Yeah.
I checked it out. I couldn't have you on the show and I didn't check out your music.
Yeah, absolutely.
Honestly, and I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I thought you was probably gonna be trash, right?
Right.
You know how somebody tell you, like, hey, check out my music, my CD, put my CD. And we talked about this the other day. Like, I'm like, you dropping a CD with you? You know,
Yeah,
you'll give out the CDs. I got my CDs in the back seat, bro. Like, a whole book of CDs. You know what I'm saying? They don't even make vehicles or anything with CD players anymore, right? Mm-mm. So talking about this album, I checked it out, like I said, and I love I'm Ready.
I was just thinking about that song before you
That's
said
like my favorite song on that. Can I say album? Is it album?
Yeah.
I'm Ready, because it's talking about it's my time right now. I'm ready. I've been doing this. I've been busting my tail. I've been in the studio. I've been, doing open houses.
all that.
Everything. I'm ready. I'm ready, right?
I'm ready. Yep.
That's crazy. I like that song. And the next one, which is, I said it was heavy. What you think I'm about to say?
I don't know.
Super heavy. This is a kid's show.
Oh, you talking about Kama Sutra?
Oh my God!
Frank Lenny. Shout out to Frank Lenny.
Who was featuring on that?
Frank Lenny. Yep.
Okay.
Lenny boy.
Man, it was some stuff in there, man.
It is, bro. Like, my music has always been, it's that, bro. Like, I really put my all into it. One thing I will say, just to kind of back up a little bit about Unready, I was listening to that song the other day and I was like, dang, even though the situation and time that I was in at that point versus now was completely different, the song is still relevant to my life.
Absolutely.
So it's like, that's kind of what I like to do when I'm making my music. Like, it'll have some kind of a double entendre, a double meaning or something in it. So no matter kind of what vibe you in, you can still connect to it.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Let's even go back further before we jump to the 2022 album.
Okay.
Let's go back further. In 2014, you accomplished a real big thing.
Okay.
I don't know how far you went, but you were like in it.
Yeah.
American Idol.
Yeah.
2014.
I was a finalist, top 40.
You were a finalist.
Yeah, top 40. So whenever in American Idol terms, whenever you make it to like the top 100, you're considered a finalist.
Okay.
Because you got to realize there are millions of people around the world who are trying to accomplish this goal. So
Absolutely.
not everybody is gonna be able to make it in them times. Just to kind of take you back to that space, I had just decided to. It was just so much stuff going on in my home life that I just wasn't 100% feeling, and I decided to kind of uproot. And I feel like God was speaking to me and said, "I need you to move to Atlanta." So I just kind of up and left, went to Atlanta one day. When I got there, I was just looking up things to see what was going on. Like, I'm fresh here, I'm trying to see where I can go to promote my music. What can I do?
And at this time, you were like 22, 23,
Yeah,
something
22,
like that?
yeah.
Okay.
And American Idol, they actually had auditions that started the following day from when I was there. So me and my cousins, we was downtown somewhere like on Peter Street in Atlanta, and we was just like kind of holding off on time. We went and got in that long line. It was crazy, man. Everybody was out there singing their hearts away, and I'm out there preserving my voice with some tea. Like, you got to move different.
But you never went there to like, I'm going to American Idol.
No, that wasn't really my goal. I went to Atlanta, to pursue music, but American Idol just so happened to be there, which was a pretty cool thing. Just going through the process, learning a lot of things. I think the biggest thing that I learned from American Idol, because when I was there, I sang so many different songs from so many different genres, and it wasn't like identifying who I was as an artist.
And that's what usually happened to an individual that goes to American Idol. I watched the show when it used to come on before, like a long time, when it first came out, which was very exciting, and it was new to the TV stations that we were watching and things like that. So I never was really big on it afterwards, but you watch those shows, the beginning ones, when it's really funny, things. But what you realize is, and when you talk to individuals, is that you end up singing songs that doesn't fit your voice or your genre, and it kind of affects you.
It'll affect you because they looking at you like, I'm trying to put together this superstar artist, and what do you bring to the table? And it's like, if you're singing a country song one week, then the next week you saying something that's R&B, the next week you singing something that's like a big pop song. It's like, yeah, it shows range, but it doesn't show you.
Wow.
And I think that's one of the biggest things that I would tell any artist is like, just don't jump on things, without knowing like who you are. Like, always get to know you first. I mean, you'll always change. People always change and go through things that kind of make them shift a little bit, but have some kind of an idea of the foundation of you. Because if I could turn back now, say go to American Idol now, I have a whole different lineup of songs that I would sing. You know what I'm saying?
Let's talk about American Idol a little bit more. When you say that, can you go and be on American Idol and tell them, hey, this is my list of songs or do they force you? And I don't want to use the word force, but do they line it up for you to be like, you have to perform these songs, and let's see what you make.
Sometimes they'll do it like that, but they have like a big old book full of songs that are already cleared. Because you got to think, on top of everything, it's still a TV show. So like, you can't come on there or you'll be copyright infringement wherever you go. So they have a lot of songs that you can choose from. The thing is, you just got to hope that the songs that you like are in that listing. You know what I'm saying? So you picking out songs through the listing, you might find some things that you love. You might have to learn something. You might have to, like improvise a little bit. But in the first few rounds, you're allowed to kind of pick your own thing. But once it gets hot and once you get closer and closer, like you have to choose from their list of approved songs.
So let's take us through it. Take us, what was your experience? We don't know.
So experience as far as what? Like as far as song choices?
Not just song choices, but you were standing in line, drinking tea.
Yeah.
What happened after that?
I just remember like everything is kind of like a blur because I've done so much stuff. But when I went to American Idol, initially it's the big auditorium audition where you go to a huge like amphitheater or like a football stadium or whatever. You get in that long line. They fill up the arena. They're taking videos and trying to get content for their show. But then they line everybody up. You go down by groups and sections. I remember the first time singing, you walked up, they split you up in groups, and whoever you were standing next to in that group is the people you singing against, basically. So then they'll bring you up to a table, and then they'll say, all right, sing. All right, sing. All right, sing. And then they'll say, okay, I need these people to step up, this person to step back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So in my time, they had everybody come up except for me, let everybody go, and then they brought me back up and wanted me to sing an additional song. So I sung an additional song. They let me through. I got the little ticket to go to the next round. I was there with my cousin Brittany. Shout out Brittany. She always there. And we just it was a vibe, man, to know that you like that feeling of being accepted into something that's so huge. It kind of lets you know that, dang, I'm really on to something,
Right.
despite how you may feel. Because to be honest with you, growing up in Fort Myers, like I've always been creative arts and stuff, but me personally, I feel like I've always thought way out more outside the box than a lot of other people. So when it comes down to like music, sometimes the things that you're talking about is not what everybody wants to listen to.
Okay.
So for a while, it kind of just threw me off from music a little bit. But it make you feel good when you go on a show, a big worldwide show that everybody knows about, and you're moving through. So from there was like callbacks. So we probably had like 5 different audition dates between like a few months. They'll call you back and you have to come to different places and sing again because they're narrowing down. Once you finally go again and you get the ticket to go to Hollywood, that's when everything really gets started. So
Okay.
we got the Hollywood week. They put us in like this hotel. I'm like, I know y'all ain't having us living in this little thing right here, man.
So that's good or bad?
Initially, it was like
Bad?
Yeah, it was a bad hotel.
Okay.
But I was like,
It was like bed bugs and roaches and stuff.
It wasn't that bad.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't like what I was thinking about. Oh, we on American Idol. Like, put me in, top tier. Let's go. But then once we went there for one night, they took us to like this airport pillar or whatever it's called. And we pull up. We're like, what are we doing at the airport? So we pull into this big old like enclosed garage. But as soon as we walk in, it's like decked out, American Idol, decked out. So we really was feeling it. Like the TV, they were filming. Everything. That was the first time we actually met J-Lo. Harry Connick Jr. was there. Keith Urban. And yeah, it was just the 3 of them judges at that time.
And 2 of the judges gave you a yes or something like that?
2 gave me a yes. And then one gave me a no. It was Keith Urban. Keith Urban gave me a no. Yeah, but I ain't really care about Keith Urban. I don't really listen to Cuz. And I'm like, but Harry Connick Jr., he's like iconic when it comes down to like classical, like kind of music. And then when you have J-Lo like staring at you while you singing, it's like, okay, we here. Let's go. Yeah.
So we're gonna jump from, because I want you to explain the Hollywood week. It was a Hollywood week that you went through and experienced and things like that.
Yeah.
But let's blur everything out and go back to being raised in Fort Myers.
Yeah.
Born and raised in Fort Myers?
Born and raised in Fort Myers. For the most part, I went up to Cypress Lake High School in 9th grade.
Single parent home or what?
Single parent home. My mom was married at some point. But primarily it was a single family home.
Okay.
Myself, my older brother, my younger sister. But I also have other siblings on my dad's side. I have 4 sisters, where I'm the second child. So
Okay.
I'm wrapped up in the middle everywhere.
Tell me your relationship with your father.
My relationship with my dad is good. Like,
that's good.
One thing about my dad, like, I know that my dad loves me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, even from a young kid, like, I've always had like a really good bond with my dad. We fall out like everybody else do.
Absolutely.
But it's like one thing about him, it's like when you feel that unconditional love, it's like when somebody's there for you or not.
And it's crazy because a lot of people don't. A lot of children, a lot of male or female, don't feel that unconditional love from their father. Most individuals feel that love from their mother. And maybe the mother or the circumstances tell you to hate your father.
Right.
And that's what usually goes on. What was different in your upbringing?
I don't feel like I ever had to choose between if I love my dad or if I want to spend time with my dad. Like, I've always wanted to spend time with my dad.
But do you see that a lot, though?
Not quite. I feel like most households, a lot of households are single parent households where the mom is there. But you have sometimes where the mom will basically kind of poison the person's mind to make them
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I see that a lot.
Mm-hmm. And it goes on in our community.
A lot.
So, I mean, I got some buddies and some friends that are great men, great fathers to me, from what I see.
Right.
but they tell me about situations, and I'm like, whoa. And to me, I'm like, once I have kids, there's no situation that's going to stop me from being a great father.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But I had to realize and understand what they're saying, because women or the mothers do be toxic and tell these children some type of way of another that your father is not good.
I feel like it'd be a representation of like how the relationship between the parents were. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes,
And it's most of the time it's man.
yeah, because sometimes they don't never even be in a relationship.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? It just so happens, and then you have this kid, and then you might have other stuff going on where you might feel embarrassed, or you might feel like, less than this because you did this. And people may have, made fun of you or said something about you or whatever the case may be that kind of caused you to act a certain way. A lot of times it ain't really the kid. The kid is, they're just wanting to have that unconditional love. You know what I'm saying? It's always kind of like somebody in the background or somebody saying something, or even if they don't necessarily tell you to hate your mama or hate your daddy, it's the way that they treat them, or you might start picking up on the ways that this person carry. You know what I'm saying? And me as a person, like, I've always been an individual, so I don't judge people for what they go through or what they've been through. But I'm also the type of person that, I look for somebody to take accountability for the things that they did.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you put yourself in a situation, just be accountable for that, because God used people who are not afraid to admit their wrongs, and everybody make mistakes, but it's like how you move. I feel like the biggest thing is just communication. One thing about my mom, like, she never told me to not love my dad. She never told me that. She probably didn't want me to be around certain stuff that he was a part of. Absolutely not. But it was my decision I want to go to my daddy's house. I got other siblings over there. We close. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be over there. So, but people, everybody's situation is a little bit different. But when you're growing and when you're going through life, and, you can start to see things, like even in your own personal life, like everything, like I said, everything ain't golden, everything isn't perfect. But if God can forgive and forget things, then you should be able to have open communication to, accept your wrongs and faults and move forward.
What type of student were you?
I was a great student.
Hold on. What you mean by great student?
I was a great student. I was always in honors classes.
Okay.
I was always a straight AB honor roll student. And
where did you get that from?
I'm just smart, bro.
So
my mom is a businesswoman. She's smart. My dad is very sharp too. So
okay.
It's like,
and most people that go to these, you went to public school?
I went to public school.
Go to public school, be very, very intelligent and beyond their time, but they never go to class.
Right.
Were you that type?
I was always in class.
You went to class?
I didn't have to be there. Like, I can read through something and I can learn it. I can hear something one time and I'm going to program it. I'm going to know it. Like, I've never failed no classes. I've never failed no tests. It's just a blessing.
That's crazy.
But
man.
I grew up expressive arts. So, like, one thing that kind of separates me from a lot of people, when I grew up, I always went to schools that allowed for me to do music, acting, dance, drama. Like, I've always paint art. So I've always had different ways to express myself and to be able to, really get things out. So I feel like when it comes down to like my learning abilities, it kind of assisted in that way, because I always...
They say it, and I'm talking like I'm old, but they say that the left side of your brain is the art side.
Okay.
And most of us don't use, and I may be wrong, it's the left or right.
It's one of them.
One of them that we don't really use because, I don't know the reason, but we don't utilize it at all. But when people grow up doing those things, you're kind of forced to actually use it.
Right.
And when you're talking about great artists, you're talking about Tupac and,
Yes.
the people that went to these type of schools that became great artists and great poet people and,
Right.
actor that he never really act before. So to go to these type of schools and experience this, and this is why they kind of change the schools up to like art performance schools. So it's
Yeah,
always helpful, you
yeah,
know.
they don't really have a lot anymore. They don't really have a lot of schools that kind of support the arts, or even a lot of programs that really support the arts. So that's kind of where I feel like another piece of my purpose is to build things like that, because I know how big of an impact that it's had on my life. So I want to make sure that we're still able to, for the kids, for people who want to be creative, who are just creative, still give them an opportunity to express themselves. Because the worst thing is for somebody to go through life and don't know how to express themselves. Now you don't know how to communicate. Now everything is like slamming right in front of your face, But if you learn how to be true to yourself and express yourself wholeheartedly, find ways to get rid of, you might be mad, but let me go write a song about it so I can get over this.
Absolutely.
You always want to make sure that you're in a space where you can be present, because the moment that you're not present in the moment, you're losing, you're behind. So
And these kids picking up guns now, bro.
man, listen to the music and stuff, bro. Like,
They picking up guns and going to the school and innocent people, innocent. I think that's so much of a coward. Like, it hurts my heart when you hear those type of things, because these individuals couldn't defend themselves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I come from a rough area, and I hate when people say that, but I'm from Detroit, Michigan, and it's literally like, you better protect yourself, right? So here, these individuals are using these weapons and doing these things and attacking people that can't protect themselves. I'm talking about in churches and schools, things like that, which is just heartbreaking. We had an incident here in Cape Coral.
was that Mariner?
Yeah, Mariner
I
High
heard about
School, and all the cops and stuff were up there, doing their duty. But your heart just collapsed, man. And nothing happened. It was it was a false alarm. Who are you to be able to call in something like that and have everybody scared and don't know what's going on? Like, what type of person are you to be able to do something like that? Which is crazy.
I feel like
man.
sometimes, like, people be overhearing stuff, or people hear something, and people, they take things different. Like, some people can call your bluff, and some people might take everything literal. And I feel like in those type of a situation, like, you have some kids who they probably in the streets, or they probably doing stuff that they don't have no business, but you have other students who are straight A students who come to school to learn. So if I'm a straight A student that come to school to learn, and I hear about somebody trying to shoot the school up, you gotta make that call, because you just never know. You don't want to be in a position where you like, I should have made that call. It would have saved somebody's life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But again, I feel like a lot of the stuff that are out for people to see, a lot of things that are out for people to hear, the lack of people really taking the time out with their kids to have real conversations and things like that. I feel like a lot of those things play huge roles in why kids are acting the way that they are, and why people are out here doing stuff to try to make themselves feel big and bad versus I just told my cousin that the other day, my little cousin, I was like, why you talking to me like that? Why you trying to act like you just so big and bad? Like, you don't know nothing about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you trying to portray this? But it's like, again, depending on what your environment is, sometimes it might be the cool thing to do. You know what I'm saying? I just thank God that I've always been somebody to move to my own drum. Like, I don't care about what's going on. Even now to this day, like, I'm an outgoing person, but I'm very much introverted. Like, I'd rather be to myself. My friends call me like, oh, you ain't going out. You already know it. You know what I'm saying? So I just always been a little bit different, but I feel like everybody just need to pay attention to what's going on around. Just ask more questions. Learn how to teach people how to communicate so that they can get things off their chest. It could save somebody else's life.
Absolutely. Let's talk about Fort Myers. Let's talk about the city, the area, the state. Last place to desegregate. Last place to do a lot of things, right? And it's still, I've never been to a place where politics is so big and everyone is running for, District 15, District 30. Like, so it's really, really big, and it can affect a person that doesn't have that drive. And my question, because you dropped the album, it officially came out 2021, but I think that it was like 2018 that the music was like done and you were like putting out music or something like that. I'm not sure exactly, but my question was, during the pandemic, how did it affect you? Did it help your career? Did it hurt your career? I mean, you just broke it down that, it gave you time to think and really put stuff into perspective. Is that accurate?
I feel like the pandemic was my time. It set me down. And I had to make, like we talked about earlier, some sacrifices. I was working in business, doing credit restoration and stuff like that. Like I said,
And you're big time, big time in that too. I seen it,
bro.
right?
So I had to make a sacrifice because that was leading my life.
Your career was
My career and it wasn't a career that I necessarily chose for myself. It was something that, God will give you things in certain seasons that's going to get you where you need to be. And I feel like it was one of those things for me. But I had to draw the line, and the line was, do you want to keep this money coming in, or do you want to be happy forever? And I had to really draw that line. And I feel like at that time when I drew that line, it hit me. It hit me. Going through the pandemic, stopping doing what was financially supporting me, moving back to Florida, just trying to get my head right, and really wrap my mind around what is the lesson that I'm getting out of this? Like,
Okay.
Where am I going? You know what I'm saying? But I also knew at that time, like, you can't really lean on your own understanding. It put me in a position to
Boy,
where,
you sound like a pastor.
I'm telling you, it put me in a space where I had to know, like, I gotta build my relationship with God, because at the end of the day, like, that's it. So now it helped me so much, bro. Like, even when I was going through my stuff, it was like, yeah, I know the same checks and stuff that was coming in weren't necessarily coming in, but there was always a way made. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy.
It's
crazy.
I had to lean on that. I had to lean on that because it's like, you can do things forever and just be doing stuff, but you're going to work your way to a burnout. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if you let God lead you, it's like he puts you on a whole different type of a path, and you still can sometimes do all the things that you love,
It's so hard, though, to come back home, to leave a job, and you were out there balling, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not just talking about you, myself. To go back home,
Balling.
It's like you feel, and me personally, if you feel like for a minute you're a failure, because now you got to start back over.
I don't ever think that I felt like a failure in it all. I did see everything like it was crumbling down, but I've always been an optimistic person, and I've always seen things as like glass half full over glass half empty. Because at the end of the day, I know if I'm able to go out and do this one time, it's something about the mindset that's going to allow for me to go do this again. But through it all, it's like there's always a test. There's always something that you get out of a situation. Like, you might have to move a little bit different, or you might need to put more effort on this. Like, there's always a lesson in the things that we go through. And I feel like it's just our responsibility to really just pay attention to the lessons. Like, I would never label myself as a failure.
Okay.
Because I'm not a failure. Like, I know that I can succeed, and I know that I'm good at the things that I do. So it's like, I felt like, God will sit you down sometimes, like, to humble you.
I always
like,
say, here, kick that pedestal, right from under you.
I'm trying to tell you. But to me, one of the biggest things that I've learned through all this was the people who really had my back, and the people who couldn't wait for me to look like I was down so they can, like, stomp me down a little bit further.
It's crazy, man.
So I feel like, even when you're going through your stuff, it's like, it's to keep your eyes open, because people will show you their faces, and they don't even know what you got brewing up. They don't know that you in the studio cooking music. They don't know that you building your relationship with God. They think that they got you where you want them at, where they want you at, but then now you just exited yourself out of my equation. You know what I'm saying? So another thing was just kind of like separating me from what do people think about me, to me saying, forget that and let me live my life wholeheartedly the way that I want to.
Okay. Let those that have eyes see, let those that have ears hear. So how important is it to know and to have people backing you?
I think it's very important, because I feel like everybody needs to have or wants to have their tribe. Like, it's nothing like being around people that really support you. When I was in Atlanta, like, I moved to Atlanta by myself. I didn't really necessarily have anybody there who I was going to be with all the time or anything like that. So being there and being there alone for so many years, like I said, I was there for 9 years, and I went there with just me being 100% transparent to myself, and I met so many people there who took me in like I was their child or like I was their sibling, and they supported the things that I did, and they encouraged you to move forward. They, drop gems and ideas to kind of get your mind running a little bit different. They see
That's
the
what type of
potential.
city that is, though.
It is, bro. I loved it, bro. Like, and it's so good for us. Like, anytime I'm there, I see a Bentley or a Rolls Royce or
And it's your
whatever.
people.
It's us.
You
It's
know,
us.
it's places like that. It's kind of scary to go to those places because they do things to force those places not to succeed. And I can speak on Atlanta. I can speak on New York with Harlem. I can speak on Haiti. And if you think about these places, I'm talking about Black Panthers, or when you think about these situations, it's something that happened that forced that not to be great again. You got places in Florida, Rosewood. You got places, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street, and it's something that happened that always demolished these
What you think that
situations.
something is?
It's no. Do your research
Absolutely.
on all those things that I just said, and pay attention to what happened.
Look at the sign.
Atlanta is one of them, and it's one of the highest STD rate cities there is. So it's trying to destroy it, but it's still thriving. But it's trying to destroy it. The next place I believe is like that now, and I'm not talking about the whole, but a lot of us is going there and being great, huh?
Houston?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
Texas.
Yeah, it's definitely Texas.
I've never wanted. I never even thought of, but now I'm like, let me go. I've never been to Texas. We play Texas El Paso in the GMAC Bowl when I went to University of Toledo, and those guys were cool guys. But that's the closest I've been to some Texas whatever.
Right.
But
I like Texas.
Yeah, it's areas like that we go and we thrive.
Yeah.
And we all together.
I tell people, like, the energy just different. Like, the vibrations are a lot higher. Like, when you get off the plane and you get outside, it feels different. The air is different. Like,
But how do you make a place like Fort Myers like that?
you just it's in you. It's within you, bro, for real. Like, when I hang out, typically in Fort Myers, I hang out like Naples, Mercado.
I love the Mercado. I was just there the other night.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's high vibrations. You meet people that can teach you things and show you something different versus being one of the ones that's in the same crowd over and over again, experiencing the same thing over and over again.
I hate the drunk dudes that be trying to talk to you while you at the bar though. Like,
Man, stop talking to me.
I'm in here
I'm trying to chill, decompress.
and the drunk dude's the one that, yeah, take my number, we go hang. I'm like,
nah,
bro,
bro.
are you serious, man? Nah, we ain't doing that.
Go download this single, Ocean, on all streaming platforms. That's what I be saying.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. You jumped to
Yeah,
it.
man.
2022, you just dropped a single.
Yes.
And you did a lot of promoting for it. Before we can go to that, let's talk about, how do you drop a single? How do you, explain that.
I mean, you just drop it. It's a recording process. You have whatever your creative process is where you're making this music. And then to me personally, it's like, how do I feel about these songs? If I think this song is real hot right now how I am now, I'm going to drop it. Mm-hmm. And it was like irking me. Like, it's been irking me. Like, I want to drop another single right now because I know it's fire.
But is it somebody telling you like, yo, chill, like, don't do it
It's
yet?
me telling me to chill because I watch how people in the industry move. Who
are some people that you watch?
I love like Usher.
I know you like Usher.
Yeah, I love Usher.
I got a question for you on that too.
Okay. I like Mario. I like Tank. One of my favorite artists is Nicki Minaj. I know that sounds kind of weird, but I love how she moves. I pick up on how great people move. And, you build it up a little bit, you tease it a little bit, see how people are responding to it. If you feel like it's your single, drop it.
And it corresponds with real estate, man. Real estate is not something you come in and you just produce the whole new era of anything.
Right.
You're really just piggybacking off of what somebody already done, and you just put it to your liking and how you carry yourself and how you like everything.
That's right.
So in the industry, you look at these professions, and what are some things that take and believe that it has helped you in your career?
Sometimes it's a lot of different things because I'm always a student. So like when I look, I just kind of look as a fan, as a striving artist. I just kind of pay attention, and I feel like when you're like if you go to school, your teacher might say a million things, but there are some things that like resonate with you and resonate with your spirit. And I feel like it always happens. Like whenever I'm in a moment or if I'm drawn to something, there's a reason there. Like it goes back to just thinking about the lesson or what you're trying to learn. Like if I'm trying to look up techniques or something and I want to know, I got a performance coming up, how can I engage the crowd? I'm gonna go look at some Usher performances. If I want to know, you know what I'm saying, if I want to drop something and I want to create like that momentum and build it up, I'm gonna go look at Nicki and see what she's doing, because it's like, it's just, I don't know, I know what these artists mean to me, why they're great to me, and I just go to these artists to see what I need from that moment, if that makes sense.
I always talk about Detroit, Michigan. If you think about it, Motown, crazy music.
Yeah.
A lot of professionals in the industry came through there,
Absolutely.
went there, amazing, right?
Absolutely.
And I love music, whatever genre it is. Only thing I really don't, and I'm kind of a little bit that I don't really deal with, is country music. But
I like country music, bro. It's the heavy metal for me.
See, I can do some heavy. We used to be in the weight room, and they used to force us to listen to heavy metal to get us hype and stuff like that. But country music is the only thing. So, do you have a mentor in the industry, someone's that's speaking to you, talking to you, that you can call and say, "Hey, this is what I have. What you think?"
Yeah, I have a few people that I hit up in the industry who give me good advice. And it's not always what you want to hear, but it's always like what you need to hear from the space where you're in and how they can view what you're doing, if that makes sense. So yeah, I do have people. I even have mentors through regular life, and
Absolutely.
we was talking a little bit earlier about like, it's just about you recycling what people have already done. And they always say like, you can copy. It ain't nothing wrong with being a copycat as long as you copying the right cat.
Copy the right cat.
Copy the right cat. So there are a lot of people who I know who genuinely support me. They want to see me win wholeheartedly, and they give me great advice. A few people.
Is Usher Confessions the greatest all-time R&B album?
It's up there.
You can listen to every song, right?
I can listen to every song on Usher Confessions.
And I love Beyonce's "Dangerously in Love."
Dangerously in Love. I be telling people like I love what Beyonce always was bringing to the music industry. Like it was just that.
But I'm not gonna lie to you though. I don't like what she's bringing now.
That's right. You heard what I said.
Yeah, I don't like what she's bringing now because I don't think it's her.
Yeah,
I think she's just keeping up with the Joneses and what is going on in our world. But that "Dangerously in Love," like I would listen to that album and females looking at me like, what's wrong?
I think too though, if you think about when "Dangerously in Love" came out, it's like, how was the world at that time? It was like we were young and we had a chance to really like get into the music, and it really like resonated probably on a different type of a level at that time.
Okay.
I feel like even the song now that "You Won't Break My Soul, You Won't Break My," it hits for me. It hits for me because it's like, in the world that we're in right now, and there's so many people who probably don't have your best interests at heart, like people who, just trying to drain you mentally, spiritually, everything. Like, You Won't Break My Soul. So I have an appreciation for like everything that Beyonce does. I think she be going outside of the norm a lot.
What you have to do though to stay in the industry?
Yeah, but she's good.
Yeah,
She's really good.
I mean, that whole team over there is just dominant. I guess they have talks of Jay-Z buying the Washington Commanders, and they're gonna sell it for like $7 billion. Your boy Elon Musk just bought Twitter for $4.3 billion.
Yeah.
You know, so that's a lot of money when you think about it, and that's some things that we need to be a part of and try to get. And
not
it's
just use it all the
changing.
time.
It's changing. The industry, everything is changing now, and I know a lot of other things are going on with some artists and being outspoken and things like that.
Yeah.
What's your take on it? You already said you.
I feel like as an artist, bro, like you have to be outspoken. I feel like it's like if you
I just
stand
asked you
for
that
something-
question. Your response, that hit you like.
Yeah, you
go
stand
ahead.
for something or you fall for anything.
Okay.
And I feel like at the end of the day, we're all individuals and our paths are different. So what's right and wrong to somebody might not be right and wrong to somebody else. And I feel like if you stand for something and you stand for something, stand up for what you stand for. No matter what people might go against you, or no matter if other people who might be puppets, they might look at you and say something different. But it's like you have to always remain genuine and true to yourself, because how God is going to use you if you're scared to stand up for yourself? You ain't going to be able to stand up for nobody. And that's just how I feel. Like, even like the whole Kanye situation. Everybody think Kanye crazy. I don't think Kanye's crazy. I like Kanye.
I think
and I
he's
feel like
amazing.
I do too. I just
think
feel like
he's very intelligent.
Very intelligent. And I feel like everything that he does, there's a reason behind it. But then again, at the same time, like this man dropped gospel albums. You know what I'm saying? You can tell that he's very in tune. And I feel like when God is using you for a bigger purpose, there's always going to be something that tries to stop you. And it's how you maneuver through it.
The thing is the social media era that we're in. And you in the industry, you know how important, how big that can be, because we were joking the other day, and I'm like, "Yo, you dropped that album, give me the CD, let me buy the CD from you." But now it's like platforms. How has this changed the industry?
It changed the industry a lot, because even when it comes down to people buying your stuff versus people streaming, like you have 1 million streams and you have 200 people who actually bought your stuff and supported you. I feel like social media is a great platform. You just have to use it wisely and don't get caught up in the hype. If you use it, you have to know who your target audience is. You have to know what your people are expecting from you, because even through like my journey with social media, it hasn't always been easy for me. I have like a decent amount of followers and stuff like that, but I'm not really a social media type of dude. I like to create content, but I'm not really a social media type of dude. So it's just I look for creative ways to actually get social media content so that I can be relevant on social media. But if you don't really have a platform, it make everything a little bit more difficult, because in the world of so many people, they might be the most talented or they might be less talented, but it's like the consistency of you putting yourself out there, and people just, you can get famous on somebody laughing at you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like in the whole viral thing, but I don't think that creates a better artist. Yeah.
2022, Ocean dropped.
Yeah. Ocean.
It's
the best R&B song out right now.
Best R&B song right now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm like Westwood, bro.
It's good.
I gotta put you on the spot.
Yeah.
I love the YouTube video that you did. I don't know if you want to do that, but you could do whatever you want to do.
Okay.
But that your permission?
Oh, permission.
I don't know if you want to do that though, but it's really up to you. You can promote the Ocean, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
We got a couple minutes left.
Okay.
And it's really what I wish I had, like, the whole like mixer over here.
I don't know, because I got the show mix on my phone, bro. You know the show mix stay on me, man.
But people want to see, people love artists that can perform in person.
Absolutely.
And they can actually hear their voice.
Absolutely. That's a good song. So what you want me to sing it? Is that what we're going for here? Yeah.
That's me.
The song's so good. This one over here. Deep inside your ocean is so mystical. Supernatural healings when I'm deep in you. Reminiscing about your body on cloud 9. Yeah. Ease your mind and let your guard down. Stroke you up, tear your walls down. You're steady flowing, need a float now. So satisfying, I'm afloat now. It's profound. Damn, I've been missing you, babe. Let's not waste no time. Been telling me what you gon' do, baby. It's your time. I love to make you feel special. Baby, let me love you down. Kiss on the forehead, I thank you. Yeah, it's
Hey, we outside.
We outside, man.
That's good, man.
When I slide inside of your ocean, it be so pure. Oh, and I get butterflies every time we be. The feelings be oh so pure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Swimming in your ocean, yeah, yeah. Swimming in your ocean. Come let me rub you down, aloe vera lotion. Hey, do you hear the lyrics, bro?
I hear the lyrics. We bring R&B back, baby.
Let's bring it back.
Let's do
man.
it.
Come on.
So,
man.
one more question, and then first of all, give them the platforms where they can catch you at, find you at.
Okay.
And I'm old school. They download this now. This is not from LimeWire.
Yeah, what I want y'all to do, I want y'all to go on any platform that you stream or pay for music. I need y'all to, first of all, buy the song. Second of all, I want y'all to stream it, share it with your friends, create like videos and stuff. Send them to me. I'll post it. Absolutely.
Give them the song.
But the song is called Ocean. I spelled it with a 0 instead of a O, so 0 CEAN, and it's under Josh Rosahd. That's JOSHROSHAD, and it's on all streaming platforms. So if you listen to music on Apple Music, you might listen to music on Tidal, you might listen to it on Pandora. I mean, wherever you listen to music at,
I'm still on Spotify. It's on Spotify.
It's there, bro. It's there.
Okay.
One thing I like about Spotify, bro, like when I play my song and then you know how it kind of goes to similar artists next after.
You can compare.
But I get like Chris Brown, I get like
Hey,
all
stop
the good
playing,
stuff.
man.
So it's
So
just
we got a few more minutes left.
okay.
Last question for me is, when the hell did R&B die?
I don't think R&B ever died. If you ask me, I just think it was less popular. I feel like when you listen to the radio, you always hear stuff that's kind of more upbeat. It kind of gets people going and keep people going. So I feel like it's easier to make a poppy song hit the top of the charts. So it's just kind of, I don't feel like it's dead. I feel like it's kind of extinct. Like you have a lot of rappers who started to do more like humming and singing on songs, so it kind of blended the R&B with the rap, and then you had R&B artists who come out and they want to kind of mimic that sound so it can be more big. So I feel like it just kind of got lost in the middle.
Absolutely.
But it ain't nothing to bring it back.
Well, Josh Rosahd, I appreciate you coming by. I appreciate you performing for us a little bit there, a little acapella, and I appreciate you talking about your path. This is the path, and this will continue. Get with me if you want to be the next one on the show. This is going to blow up. This is going to be a great thing.
Absolutely.
Bernard.Faithful, Bernard.Faithful on all social platforms. I'll check you later.
Yes.
Good job, bro.
Appreciate it, bro. Thank you for having me.